See, basically, see, in our application, there are many types of conditions are there. Example, in the earlier scenarios, we used when condition. When is one type of condition. Okay. So like that, there are again some decision rules and declarative rules are there. Decision rules in the next week we'll be working. Today, just I'll start what are declarative rules and two types of declarative rules we are going to work today. See, basically declarative rules are nothing but condition rules. Okay. But what is the why those are declarative? What is the meaning of declarative means? So we'll declare the condition, but we'll not call the condition anywhere. Okay. See, declarative rules advantage and purpose is we will just declare the condition and no need to call the rule anywhere in application. Automatically it will trigger. See how it will trigger means if you see, if you are using the properties, see for which property condition is defined. Suppose if you use the property anywhere in application, that is in any UI design or in the application, if you use that property, or if you give input for the property, or if you change input for the property, okay, so automatically whenever you use the property or give input or change input for the property, so these declarative rules will automatically trigger. So we'll define the condition, but we'll not call the condition anywhere. See, when we have to go for these declarative rules means in your application, so any property, some x property if you take, and for that x property everywhere that particular declare condition is same means, then we have to go for these declarative rules. Okay. Suppose some expression you define, that expression for that x property in your module or in your application everywhere it is same means, then we need to go for the declarative rules. Suppose if you need a different conditions means, again we'll go for activity or data transform. See, so there are some alternate for declared rules are there. So if you need everywhere same condition means, we'll go for the declared rule. But specific to page, if we want to define a different condition means, earlier we have understand activities and data transforms, right? So in activities and data transforms, if you define any business logic or condition, so we need to compulsory call it in the design wherever you are going to use that particular logic or condition. So there we are going to call. But declarative rules advantage is we'll just declare the condition and no need to call the condition anywhere. Disadvantage is if you need a different conditions for the same property, then I cannot go for declarative rule. For that, again based on the type of rule, again some alternative rules are there for that. So if you need everywhere same condition, then only I can go for the declarative rules. Okay, in this some 4 to 5 categories are there. So today we'll be first starting with declare expression rule. Okay, so today I'll be starting a rule called declare expression, and after that I'll be discussing about constraint rule. See, expressions are nothing but so calculations on properties. See, we'll perform different calculations like see 2 to 3 properties are there. Minimum 3 properties are there means we can add calculations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, percentage, average, date calculations, time calculations. So these all if want to perform. Like in the last session, we applied some expression builder. Using that, I applied the date function, right? So that is also some type of calculation only. But some more properties, if you want to use these expressions means more than 2 properties, like at least minimum 3 properties we are going to use. Okay, because if I want to define expression means minimum 3 properties are required. Okay, and whenever we require any calculations on properties, then we have to go for this expression rule. So declare expressions are fixed. Suppose if you use the properties in but in that particular scenario or in that particular condition, so again for the same property we cannot define another declare expression, you cannot define. So wherever you use that particular C property and A and B, so always the same condition will apply. So everywhere same condition if I want to apply, like I want to perform a calculation as C is equal to A plus B. Again for the C I cannot define C is equal to A into B, I cannot define using declare expression. So everywhere same condition means, then go for the declare expression. Suppose if you need if want to define C is equal to A plus B in one design, C is equal to A into B in another design, then go for activity or data transform. Because same conditions using property set we can define in activity, and using set function we can define in data transform. But only thing is there, after defining activity or data transform we need to manually call those rules. But here declarative rules, when you define the condition no need to call anywhere. That is only difference, because declarative rules only declare the condition and wherever these properties are used and input, when input is given for the properties, automatically it will trigger the condition. So here whenever any input is given for the source, see, source properties are nothing but input properties are source for which input is given, those are called as source properties, and for which output is calculated, output value is calculated, that is called target property. So declare expression, if you in one sentence if you say we are going to perform add calculations on properties, and whenever there is a change in the source value, it will automatically update the target property value. Okay, so to understand this, we are going to work on one scenario, but before that we are going to define some different properties we are going to create. Okay, different set of designs, and see, for the next few things we are going to work on different types of declarative rules and decision rules. So we need to add some new designs we are going to add. So first I'm going to do that. Okay, so coming to the designs here, open your property widget under the work layer. You can open this property widget. You can click on this view in data designer. So three set of properties I'm going to create and three sub designs I'm going to create. Okay, so related to that, three set of properties I'm going to add first, and all are single value properties only. So this time I'm using single value properties. So the first property I'm going to define is insurance type, and this I want to add some static records with radio button control. So choose the property type as insurance type, and I'm going to choose the pick list, and from here you can choose the display type as radio buttons you can choose, and assign the records. I'm giving two values. So personal vehicle, and other one I'm giving as a commercial vehicle, and click on OK. Then I'm going to add some other set of properties. So this property I'll be using in one UI design. Then in the second UI design, I'm going to add some fields like agency code. So this I'm taking as a text only, and these two fields I'll be using in second UI design. Then the next one. So then I'm going to add some three properties. So here I'm going to add, and give me a second. Okay, here the next set of properties we are going to define is policy term, and here I'm going to choose the type as pick list. See, for this I want to use a drop down. I want to use, okay, some values I'm going to give directly. So like a term is nothing but like years here. It's like a 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. Some values I'm going to choose. So click on OK. Then I'm going to define policy start date. This I'm going to choose the type as date only. Date only means nothing but calendar you'll be getting, where you can choose the from the calendar you can choose the date options. Then one more field I'm adding, and this also I'm going to choose date. So now see, insurance type I'll be using in one design, agency code and name I'll be using in second design, and the remaining three I'm going to use in the third design. So add three designs separately. So the next step is we'll create three sections. Open and update the template. So click on this still loading. Just once after loading, you can click on convert to full section. Once refresh browser. So add title and give a format. So here I'm going to choose the regular format. So before mapping property, I'm going to use save as option. For the next designs also template will be common, right? So use save as option. Now come back to the design one. So in this properties, insurance type properties, these are single value, right? You can drag and drop. So expand data model, expand property, and drag and drop these field, save it. Now in the second design, add agency code and agency name, but update the title before that. Save this one. And in the third design, update the title. Now in this, we are going to drop the properties like policy term, policy start date and end date. Actually, declare expression condition we are going to add for this design, we are going to add for the policy design. For other designs, we'll be adding the next conditions we'll be adding. So in the decision rules and all, some decision rules will be adding for the other designs. So now all the three we are going to add in one section. So the three above designs we are going to use in one design only. So just drag and drop these sections. In same layout, you can just use these three. See why we are, but why we are designing separately means because we need a different conditions are required for all the three. So we need to compulsory call it separate, design separately and map it. You can map it in a one main design. You can map. Now we need to create a flaction for the main design. Add a flaction now. Select the section name. Select the name of section. So now open the process. That is, you need to map this in the insurance flow. So before adding condition, first I'm mapping this UI design in insurance flow. So after the customer design, I'm going to call this. So add a new assignment and adjust these connections. So give a label. And open connector settings. So give the flaction details and save. Okay, up to here regular process only. Now what we are going to understand is what are declare expressions. Now we are going to see declare expression rule. I'm going to create for the policy page. I'm going to create. So after getting all the different set of properties and okay, here there is one additional thing not required in the present versions. Okay, I'm going to not discuss right now. In the next classes I'll discuss this. Not required right now. So create these sections and flaction and add all the three in the main design. And you can also map the UI design in flow also. Now coming to the requirement for the declare expression condition. See here three fields are there in the policy page. Policy term, policy start date and end date. See requirement is when input is selected or when input is given for policy term and start date, it should automatically calculate the value for the policy end date. See many insurance policies or any private policies or any vehicle policies, anything if you see. So based on the term and based on the start date, it will automatically decide the end date of the policy. Okay. So the same thing for the same, I want to apply this declare expression condition. So here source properties are term and start date. When these two input is selected, it should automatically give the end date value. Okay, they will not select manually, right? End date they will not select manually. Whenever they change the term and whenever they change the start date, it should automatically give the policy end date. That is a target property. Okay? And source properties are term and start date here. But when you open when you're defining expression, so in the for the target property, from target property we need to open the expression rule. Okay? Let's see how to define that. So there is a requirement when term and start date are given, it should calculate the policy end date. See now in your application, see to open this declare expression rule, there are two ways are there. Either from decision category, if you rightly can go to create and you can choose this option called declare expression. From here you can open, from decision category we can open declare expression. This is one way, and there is other way is there. Directly, if you right click on policy end date property, right click on policy end date, because that is a target property, right? So if you right click and if you see there is an option called define expression, so from here also we can open the same form, the same declare expression form we can open. But difference is here, if you open from decision category means manually we need to provide the target property name. If you directly open from the property option means you'll get the property name selected automatically. Okay, that is only difference. Either you can open from decision category, declare expression, or else under the target property right click and select define expression. So both will open, the same page will open. Okay. Anyway, close any one and I'm going to select the target property. See, page context means if we have any page properties, we have to give that page name we have to mention. But as of now, it is a single value property, right? Directly you can select the property name. Policy end date is the target property. Now click on open. And nothing, the thing is in all the conditions, means 80 to 90% of the conditions will be using expression builder only. So in the last session, I told how to use expression builder. Same way, in most of the declarative rules will be using that expression builder will be using. So here if you first of all you need to give some description usage. See, anything you can give right now in the real time means what is the purpose of expression, what is the usage, just they will be giving some details. So it should not be blank. If it is left blank means it will throw error message. We cannot left as blank, particularly from 8.4 version only this is showing. And here you need to add the condition build expressions in the, here some basic functions will be getting, the default function or the basic function is value of, and there are some other functions to call the decision rules like result of table tree map value. These functions will be there in order to call the decision rules. What are decision rules, I'll discuss on Tuesday class. Will be getting the topic in the next week. So here in order to define or if want to open expression builder, always will keep the same function value of only, and here you need to click on the settings to open the builder. So click on the settings and then open expression builder, and in this widget, see here requirement is there is a function called add calendar. So what is the purpose of that function means any date properties, time properties, any like a year properties, month properties if we have, so you can use that function and fill the condition. Okay, there is no need to fill all the parameters. In that many properties will be there, year, month, date, hours, minutes and seconds, like that all the parameters will be there. But here the properties which are required for this scenario only map that particular source properties only we are going to map. Basically term is related to year, and what is the other property, source property start date. Start date is related to like a month we can say, okay, or date or month we can say. So here remaining properties, remaining parameters will be there like hours, minutes, seconds. So those all it is not mandatory. Only what are the source properties which are related parameters are there for the source properties, only we need to fill them. So the function we need to use here is add calendar. But when you type the full function, it will not be showing the function. Just to type add and click on search. Only click on type add only. If you see, because if you type the full function, it is not showing in the present in real time. Also, it is not showing. There is some issue. If you type the exact function, it is not showing the results. So that's why type with only add option. If you type and search, so you'll be getting that function. Okay, maybe spelling mistake, let me check. Calendar. Okay, it is showing no niche, but actually if you again cal sometimes if you type it may not show. Okay, it is showing some resolution, it is not working in previous versions. Okay, No issue whether type the full name or type a short name. So you can choose the function, click on add. See, but in this, what are the parameters we are going to fill? Fill according to the order what is there, okay? Because you should not give in your own way. If you see the first parameter, date is the first parameter, then years. See here, date property is nothing but policy start date is the date property, and years is nothing but policy term. But remaining properties like months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds are there. See, for all the remaining parameters, we don't have any source property, so we have to give it as null. Okay. So here, first of all, give the date property, which is a policy start date. Then in the second one, years, which is nothing but click on dot option, then policy term. See, then remaining columns and all, we don't have any other source properties here. Months, weeks, days. So give it as 0. Then hours, minutes, and seconds. The remaining parameters are after the days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So those values also we don't have any source properties. Again, give 0, 0, 0. Now close the function. Now click on test button. Suppose based on the values, see start date, it will take the current date, and term it will take the 3 something is there. So if you click on test function, you should get the result loaded. If result is loaded, means your function is working. Okay. So now click on submit. Just will define the condition, and anywhere if you are going to use these properties, see if you are using the properties anywhere, automatically this condition will be executed. Okay, so this condition will trigger and it will display the end value, that is end date value, it will be automatically populated. So that is the advantage of declarative rules. So here we'll just declare the condition for the properties, and whenever input is given, or already see for term already default value is there. And date also, what happens means it will take the current date, it will take automatically. Okay, so it will automatically give the result for the end date when you open the section. Okay, if you change the value, again it will read this condition and again it will update the target property value. So let's see. So like that, in declarative rules, like advantages, will just declare the condition, and wherever we are going to use the properties, so automatically it will trigger that condition. See, already created this flow action and flow also we created, right? So run your insurance flow. We can execute our insurance flow design. And here we are going to, so submit the first design. Second design is transaction design. Submit the first design. See, automatically you will get the target value, because already for the policy term it will take as 3, and it will take the start date, even though the value is not given, it will take the current date it is going to take by default. So that's why it is giving as okay, it is giving as 226 only, right? Maybe. Okay, then select the date, then at least select the date and check. And whenever give the future date, you have to give, guys, don't give the past date. So always enter the future date. So you can see when you enter the date also, so it is updating the year to 2027, sorry, 2024. 3 years is the term, right? So it is updating the year to 2024. Suppose if you update the term here, again it will read the condition and update the value in the end date property. So like that, whenever there is change, input is given for the both the properties, or when input is updated for the properties, automatically it will calculate the target value. So like that, again if you are using the same properties any other design in application, automatically it will apply that condition. Okay, but again whenever you use the same properties in some other design, I cannot add other condition, I cannot define, because if you define declarative rule in any in the application, again we cannot define any other condition, we cannot apply for the same properties. That is, I mean to say, another declarative rule we cannot apply, another declare expression we cannot apply for the same properties. Okay, we can apply other declarative rules again. Like there are some other declarative rules are there. You can apply other declarative rules, but again, declare expression you cannot apply for the same properties you cannot apply. So like that, any conditions, any calculations on properties if you want to perform automatically, we'll declare the condition and automatically in the background, it will perform this action. Okay. So that is advantage. See, but if you see activities, if you create means compulsory we have to call because those are not declarative rules. And data transform if you create we have to call. And in the last condition, when condition we created, that also we need to call. So there are some conditions are there where if you define any business logic or condition, compulsory we have to call. But particularly if you take these declarative rules, only will declare the condition, and wherever properties are used and when input is given for the properties or when input is updated, automatically it is reading the condition, right? So whenever I give the input for both the fields and whenever I update the input for both the fields, it will automatically update the target property value it is updating. So that is nothing but declarative rules. Okay. So like that, we'll work on some other scenarios in the next classes. And in declarative rule, there is one thing called forward and backward chaining. As actually, what is forward chaining means? Suppose let's take this example. See, assume that C property is nothing but policy end date. Okay, A property as, for example, policy term and B as policy start date. See, what are the scenario we implemented? This is nothing but forward chaining. That is when input is given for the source properties. If the target is calculated, that is called forward chaining. So there is something called backward chaining. See, what is backward chaining means? Suppose if you are using the target property, for example, this what is the value calculated here? So the value calculated policy end date, right? Suppose if you're using this policy end date property in some other expression as a source, okay, there may be some requirements like that, but not in today. We cannot do this. But suppose if the target property value, if you're using in some other expression as a source, so then it come under backward chaining. Suppose in the some other expression in the real time, so C is the target property right here. C property if you're using in some other expression as a source, then it is nothing but backward chaining, and D can be direct input or that also can be taken from other expression. So at least one property if you have, and if you're using that as a source, this target value if you're using as a source in other expression, because directly we are not giving this input, right? So based on some expression it is calculating this value. So if any source value if it is taken from some expression, then it is nothing but backward chaining. Directly if input is given or input is selected based on the source properties, that is forward chaining. And if the target property, if you are using target property value if you are using in some other expression as a source means, then it is nothing but backward chaining. At least one property if you are using as a target value in some expression, that come under backward chaining. Actually in certifications you may get these one two scenarios like this. Okay. So like that, so sometimes will be mostly will be performing forward, but very one two scenarios you may get like backward chaining also you may do. So that is the target property sometimes you may use in, means at that time you will not directly give the input guys, based on the other expression it will calculate this value and it will be automatically populated in this source value. Okay. So that is nothing but backward chaining. Okay. So like that, these are the two things we'll be having, forward and backward chaining. So if input is given directly, it is forward. If input is taken from some other expression means that is nothing but backward chaining. Now there is another declarative rule. Okay, there are some other four types are there. Today we are going to discuss another declarative rule called constraints. But every declarative rule requirement will be different, guys. So it will see expressions means it is one type of calculation on properties, and the other one which we are going to is totally different one. So which is called as constraints. Okay, and this is some type of again validation type of rule. We'll be calling as excuse me. So we will call it as some type of dependency validation. See what is dependency? I'll give just a easy example. I'll give. See if you see when you are signing up for a Gmail account, see you'll be having fields like first name and last name, right? See in first name and last name, if same input is given, it will not allow. compulsory. Not only this one, any web application, if you have a fields like that, so a first name and last name, if you try to give the same value, okay, so then it will not allow the same input. Compulsory, it should have a different input for the first and last name properties. So if suppose if same input is given by mistake, it will not allow and it will throw some error message. So give a different input or enter a different string for first or last name, you'll be getting some custom message, you'll be getting whatever they set in the application. So those are nothing but dependency validations based on one property value. So what are the purpose of constraint means? So basically it will restrict one property value based on other property value. Suppose when input is given for the first name and if same input is given for the last name, so it is going to restrict the value given for the last name, because according to the requirement condition they define, so the first and last name values must not be same, it should be different. So like that, some other controls, if you have any other types of properties also, we can restrict the values based on one property, we can restrict the other property value, we can restrict. So those are nothing but constraints. And other thing is, so automatically it's a declarative rule. Declare constraint means it's a declarative rule. The thing is, in your application, suppose first and last name properties in multiple pages you're using, and everywhere automatically constraint means if you define the condition once, everywhere it will apply the same condition. Only once will define, and everywhere always the same condition will apply for that properties. Again, we cannot define another condition for the same properties in the application. And other thing is, this constraint name is plural. Till now, what are the rules we used, and in the future also, most of the rules in application are singular. I mean to say, if it is activity, data transform, expression, so every rule is singular rules. So what we used to do at a time, one rule we if we open one condition or one business logic, we are going to define related to one page. But constraints is plural. The thing is, in your application, in your workflow, if you define one rule for entire application, in the same rule all conditions you can define. Suppose if you don't have any further modules means, so in the application only one constraint rule is enough, and all the conditions we can define in the same rule. Because the advantage is here, anyway we are not creating, we are not calling the rule anywhere in application, and all the conditions we can create in one rule itself, no need to define separate rules every time. Suppose now you'll define for one property, again when you define for the some other properties, again no need to open a new rule. In the same existing rule we can add rows and we can define the constraint conditions. Another thing is, in order to define these constraint conditions, Pega has given some template is given, and at the same time some built-in functions also will be having, and what type of properties those are, and what type of properties we are going to, what we can say, what we are going to apply the condition accordingly. Some basic functions are given here. So it will, these functions and all, what properties you are comparing, what type of properties you are comparing, accordingly we have to choose them. Actually 99% there is one function called first value relation second value. If you use that, any type of property we can compare, one string, one integer, one date, and any other type of property, any type of property if you take also, there is one default function called first value relation second value. If you are going to use that means we can compare any type of property, but specifically also they have given additionally, even though with that same function we can define all the conditions, but again separately they have given some functions related to what type of properties. Suppose two strings if you are mapping, or two integer properties if you are mapping, or two date properties you are mapping, accordingly some additional functions also they have given. Okay, that also I'll show you. So like that, this purpose is, rule purpose is to, we can restrict one property value based on other property value, and these other name is dependency validation will be calling. See, basically validations are nothing but it is going to validate the input template. See, when user provide input for any field, that input template is matching or not, okay, or the input format is matching correct or not, it is going to validate. Okay, and here you'll be getting a template I told, right? See here in this template three things will be there. If condition, require that condition, and adding a message to property. See, the first row contains if condition. If condition means when condition, and in the second row, that is also if only, but require that condition will be calling, and in the third row add a message, custom message you are going to define, and for which property you want to display that message, we need to define in the third row. So these three things are common for any function. Any function, if you choose, maybe based on function the operators may be different, but these three rows will be getting if and require that and add a message to the column. Okay, so first of all, let's see one example to understand better. And anyway, this also will just declare the condition, and wherever these properties are used and when input is given only, it will read the condition again. See, even in the declare expression also, if you observe, after giving input only, it is giving the correct output. Okay, if you don't select, if you only for one property only, if input is given, it is not giving the exact output. When input is given for all the properties, then only these conditions will perfectly work. Okay, if you don't give input for other property or second property, then it will not read this condition. When input is given for both the fields, then only this condition will apply or this condition will trigger. And let's see, first example I'll show the easy one. Say I want to compare validate first and last name, first name against last name or last name against first name, and I'll be displaying error to the last name property if same name is given. See, they will give a first name first. After that, if for the last name also, if you give the same value, okay, it should not allow, and it should display some error message should display. So that is the requirement. So already names, property names are there, right? So directly you can add this condition. See, these conditions we can open, all the declarative rules will open from decision category. So under decision, you can choose these constraints. Click on constraints and give a name here. So once you enter the name, so I said that in your application, one constraint rule is enough. Okay, because in the future, if you want to add more conditions, see, you'll be getting add row option. So for different properties, if you want to add also, in the same rule, only one ID is one identifier or one constraint is enough, because it's a plural. All constraint conditions in the same rule we can define. Okay. Now first I'm defining for one field. I'm going to define for the first field now. See here, see the properties which I'm going to compare are first and last name. See, I told that default function will be already selected called first value relation second value. So this function we can use for any type of property we can compare mostly. There are additionally separate functions also. Without using that, we can use the same function for most of the scenarios. Okay, here two strings I'm comparing, so I can use that function, no issue. See here in the down arrow, choose when condition we are going to apply. If first name equal to last name, so this is when is nothing but if condition, one if statement. And what is require that condition means, here first name should not be equal to last name, because what is the constraint condition we are going to apply? Here the first name should not be equal to last name. So give the required condition as first name should not be equal to last name. If they are equal means, then it will display the error message. And this message I'm going to display for the property. For last name I'm going to display, but you can add this message in two ways. See, directly you can add a custom message. Okay, you can give a custom message. See, or else, so if you want to add these messages using some separate rule is there, message rule is there in Pega. So if you want to open that message rule again, if it is from App Explorer means from technical category, you can open that message rule. But without opening from technical category, in the same validation itself, you can click on open. Okay, if you don't want any custom message, means this is also custom message only, but instead of typing it manually directly here, suppose if the same message if you want to reuse in multiple places in application, okay, you can open the message rule from here also. Click on open, give some name for the message. So click on open. Here we'll be getting some categories, like it is error or warning or alert or tip, like that. Some four types of categories are there. Basically, this validations come under error. Okay, so select error. then type the same here. Okay, classification not required. Classification, it is included in the new version. Maybe if want to include means you can give as validation fail. Okay, enter valid string I'm giving. Okay, anything whatever we give here, that will display in the for the last property it will display, or enter valid last name. Okay, so just to give some message, and this will display for the last name property, but you need to call it manually. Now in the down arrow you need to call the message rule. See, instead of defining that message, what you can do means, so you can directly type the same here itself. Okay, no need to create it is not mandatory. Message rule is not mandatory, guys, but just I want to show you, there is a separate rule, message rule. You can particularly specify the category and you can type the what message you want to display. You can type the message, and that you can call it in the drop down. Otherwise the same thing you can just call it in, just type it in this box. Okay, without creating the message rule, the same you can directly type it in the box. Okay, now save it. So we don't call this condition, right? It's a declarative rule. So run the customer flow and verify. So give same input for first and last name and check. See, but after giving input for last name and submission, actually in live environment on refresh also it will work, but here on form submission it is going to validate that condition according to the constraint condition. If input is same means it will throw the error given, right? So if input is same means it is just it will not allow you to submit the form until we correct the input template for the last name property. Okay, so if valid input is means if the strings both the values are different means, then we can submit the form. If same given means it will not allow you to submit the form. Okay, that is one example. Like that I'll work on some other example. Then in my application in the customer design, see now if I want to add a constraint condition for some other fields in the application, in the same rule we have to define. We will not define another constraint rule will not open. In the same rule, you will click on add arrow, and here we need to define for the remaining properties, because declare a condition we don't call anywhere, right? So just declare the condition for remaining properties also in the same rule, but it will not apply for other declarative rules. Other declarative rules, each time we have to open individual rules separately, we have to open. But for constraints, no need to create a separate rule every time. In the same rule we can define all the remaining conditions. Now we'll work on other requirement. So the next one I want to do a example for gender and age I want to compare. Okay, see, for some insurance policies there will be some particularly based on the gender base also, some limit policies will be there, different policies will be there. If it is a child based, depend upon the policies will be there. If it is a boy child, or sometimes it will be having a different types of policies. Just a generic example, suppose if gender is male means I want to give a limit as age greater than 21. If female means I want to set a limit for the policy as greater than 18. Okay, so for these two conditions we need to define. Okay, so an error we are going to display in both the cases. Error we need to display for the age property will display the error. See, already in the customer design, gender and age properties both are there. But one thing is, when you are working on conditions, one thing we have to check is, see, during gender creation, for the static records are given, right? So in your application, once verify whether these static records are in the prompt list or local list. See, local list means the same value we can use in the condition. But suppose local list means this value male and female will be using in the condition. For example, if you have a prompt list, and if you have the value, standard value, whatever you have to use that in the condition, guys. Okay, and make sure you recheck your property and accordingly give the condition. For example, in my application I'm using prompt list. Okay, I'm changing to prompt list. See, if I apply the condition now, see in the standard value, what is the value available? This I have to use in the condition. Suppose if it is a local list means, you can use mail, you can use, but in the prompt list if you particularly update means, if you update the standard value to some code form means, then in the condition I have to use this value, I have to use. So I'm keeping as prompt list and m and f. Okay, so in condition I have to use m and f, I have to use, I cannot use male and female, I cannot use, because these are only display values. But in standard value, what are the value is there, that I need to use in the conditions. So that's why once check your gender property, and what if local list is there means use the local list value, but in the prompt list, in the standard value, whatever is there, use that one. So here select gender. Now apply these two conditions. So if gender equal to, so in my application I have taken m, right? So give that one, and in the required that select age must be greater than, see, greater than or equal to, that's your wish. In the real time, whatever is the requirement, you have to choose. Here I'm taking as greater than, it should be 21. So directly this time I'm adding a message, age must be greater than 21 I'm taking, and this will display for the age property. Like that, add the next condition. So this time f is the standard value given, and require that condition age must be, I'm taking greater than as 18, I'm giving as a value, condition value, and give this message age must be, I'm taking the value as 18, and this also will display for age property. And the thing is, constraint I told you, right? Any declarative rule, when input is given for both the fields, then only it will read the condition. Particularly in expressions and constraints, when input is given for both the fields, then only it will read the condition. In constraint particularly, if you give input for only gender and if you are not giving input for age property, then it will not read this constraint condition. Only if input is given for both the fields in the page, then only it will read the constraint condition. Now verify. You can execute and verify the customer design. Okay, see here age I'm giving as some 16 and male, and try to submit, and before that give input for any first name, because for that also it should be input must be different, right? See, if you give blank also it will take a same input guys. See, if I don't give any input for first and last name, then also it will take it as default value, right? So then also it will throw error for the last name property. If I don't give any input also it will throw error for the last name in the present scenario. Okay, so give some input or set any field as a mandatory field. In the real time, they will set as a required field. And now according to age and gender values given, it will throw error for the age property as age must be greater than 21, because I have given as 16 as a value. It will throw the error as age must be greater than 21. And if I select female, I'm keeping the same input for age. Now if I select female, it will throw the error as age must be greater than 18. So like that it will just read the input and generate the error message according to the condition given. If you give a valid input, for example, you can submit the design. So that is this is this dependency validation. Okay, so like that any dependency validation is required. Okay, and everywhere if the condition is same means we'll go for constraints. Suppose in specific to page font apply means there is some other rules are there that we are going to work on Monday class. Okay, so specific to page font apply, there are some other obj validate rules are there that I will be discussing in the Monday session. I'm going to discuss. Okay, so up to here you can go through these topics, and on Monday session I'll be continuing the